Chat Cave with Mike and Max.
Wowie zowie, Mike, we are back. Welcome to the Chat Cave, Mike Big GTV. My name's Max, and I'm here with my old chum, Mike. We're doing it again, back in the Chat Cave. How are you feeling?
It feels good. It feels good to be back to talk a little bit about Batman stuff again. I know every time I say this, every time it feels like forever, which it is because it's just a couple of months, but it feels like forever these days. But
yeah.
But no, it's good. It's good. Wowie zowie. For those that don't know, that is the new intro for the latest Three Geeks podcast that we just did, where Mr. Burt Ward of Batman TV fame did a little intro for the guys. And, I was laughing at that.
It makes me happy. It just, it just tickles my Batman funny bone there.
He is enthusiastic.
Yes. That is definitely the word that you must use to describe him. Burt Ward's a great guy. We should try to get him on here.
Sure.
Yeah. We can definitely talk to the peoples to make that happen. But he's a real cool guy, real good interview. But we're not here to talk about Burt Ward, as cool as he is.
We're here to talk about some darker stuff.
Truth. Truth for sure. We're going to talk about the movie adaptation of this book here, the Long Halloween.
Yep. And we've actually had a talk at Chat Cave about the book and about the original storyline, so you can check that out somewhere on McGTV. But yeah, this is a recent film adaptation, or at least animated adaptation, that has been released through, again, DC animated movies, which they're killing it with regards to that particular market. Like Marvel's way behind them on that stuff.
It always has been. I do have some issues with, I would say that they were 100% quality for when back when they first started, and the quality kind of took a little dip for a while there, but they're bringing it back. I really enjoyed this movie, or it's two parts, so I just counted as two movies, but I really, really enjoyed them.
Yeah, the level of quality, you're right. It fluctuates from product to product, but this one I felt was a pretty solid installment. I've been enjoying so far, because I know they just got done with the New 52 inspired kind of DC anime movies where they all shared a universe. And then from what I'm gathering, this is like a reboot basically of the universe. And so they did a little Superman movie. They did the Justice Society in World War II.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
These are all apparently connected as well, because Superman was the first one, and then Justice Society, it's established that Superman crosses over into that storyline at one point because the Flash time travels. And then of course there's the teaser on this movie, the after credits stinger on.
Did I not watch?
There's a post credits thing.
After credit, I missed the stinger. Oh no!
You need to know this by now, man. This is like comic book movie 101. There's always going to be a post credits thing.
I'm mad at myself because I went and watched Shang-Chi, and I'm in the theater, and the movie ends and people are leaving, and I'm on Google, how many post-credit scenes are there? I was like, there's 2 scenes, people, sit down.
Yeah, you're the one. I was like, you're the one telling them. I'm like, the same rule applies to the animated stuff now, man.
Oh no, that's a rookie mistake on my part. Oh no! So I'll go back and check it out.
I won't spoil it for you, but it's all connected. So
okay, so yeah, but I definitely got to watch those other movies too. The Superman and the Justice Society. I like that they went that way instead of
just League. Yeah. Well, it's all the World War II era Justice Society members, like old school Wonder Woman's there, Hour Man, bunch of them. But yeah, it looks like they're trying to tell, I guess, some. I won't say, I guess the best word would be more antiquated stories for this particular line. I feel Long Halloween kind of fits that pretty well here, even though it's taking place in the modern day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm professional.
This is why we're not on the We're not on the digital Hollywood list.
But no, it's I really liked this adaptation. I feel like they stuck pretty strongly to the original source material.
Yeah. Just to catch everyone up, if you aren't familiar with Long Halloween, it's basically a murder mystery that spans a full year, where holiday killings are sort of the norm, and it's all the targets, all the victims are like high ranking officials in like organized crime, and they're all tied to Carmine the Roman Falcone, who you might know from stuff like Batman Begins and stuff like that. But he's a very prominent figure in Batman mythos, especially in recent years.
Yeah,
So this is
the mob boss that it's like, okay, like this has made crime so much now that like Batman needs to do something. It's generally Carmine Falcone, like who they're gonna go to,
and has like significant ties to not just like that, but to Harvey Dent and to the Wayne family in general, as you'll discover in this story. Like there's some looking back into Bruce Wayne's past with regards to how this ties to organized crime and his family.
And I'm really, really glad that they stuck to. I mean, like the story is solid, and it doesn't need you don't need a Batman Batgirl romance to just throw in here. You don't need
whatever are you talking about, Max?
There's already a lot going on in the book, so I'm just really glad that they didn't decide to sort of like, oh well, this isn't going to work. We need to do something else. And that shows a lot of maturity, I think, for DC, just to like take what they had and run with it. And I really dug this movie. Like this movie was pretty sick.
So some of the changes they made for the story, like it pretty much holds to the story structure fairly well. There's some cosmetic things that they kind of overhauled, but I understood why they overhauled them, just because it works then if you're able to span it out over these two feature-length installments to flesh some characters out a little bit more, to expand on an idea a little bit more.
Yeah, like I feel like they spend a little more time with the Poison Ivy. That little story arc within the story, and there are a couple different things with the Joker, where like the comic book just kind of wraps it up, and they had to make a whole, they had to make a vivid scene out of it, so they changed a few things.
Even the Batman Catwoman stuff has a little bit more going for it in terms of taking it to some places that the book originally didn't, I feel.
Yes. But I dug it. Yeah. Or even just Catwoman alone, I feel like had a lot more going on in the movie than in the books. And I dug all that stuff too. So I was pleasantly surprised because, after the Killing Joke, I was like, please don't, just if you guys are gonna mess the stuff up, like please don't go back over. You don't need to animate good stories if you're gonna.
Or even like the what they did to adapt Hush for the New 52 stuff. Like I like the original Hush storyline, but what they ended up doing in there is like, okay, I understand you had to change it up a little bit to make it fit the New 52 universe that you're telling these stories in, but at the same time, a lot of the creative changes they made on that one, I'm like, not so great.
Right.
So yeah.
So actually, what got me back into, like, I was like, okay, DC's doing some things that I can dig. I don't know if you watched the Batman. What's it called? Something the Dragon something.
Yeah. That's like the harkening back to like martial arts films of like the 70s and so forth.
Yeah, it was it was fun. It was a fun Batman movie, and I was like, okay, all right, like we're doing some things that I like here. But that was like that was like its own thing, and it was, so I was a little worried when they're like, okay, we're doing Long Halloween. I'm like, oh man, they're like, okay, it's 2 parts. I'm like, ooh, like what did you put in there?
Well, it works better for the 2 parts, I feel, just because Long Halloween is a very thorough detective story, and so they utilize that pretty well here. Like, I'd say Batman spends equal amounts of time in and out of costume with both the Bruce Wayne persona, and then in here. I was curious, what did you think of what's his name, Jensen Ackles as
I
Batman?
like Jensen Ackles' Batman. I dug Batman in this one. I thought it was really good. I did not have any problems. I think Jason O'Mara.
He was the New 52 one, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of his. I mean, like, I'm not knocking that dude. Like, you know, that, like, you know, all the stuff is okay, but I just wasn't a big fan of his Batman. But I like Jensen Ackles as the voice of Batman in this one.
And yeah, he graduated from Red Hood to Batman. Yeah,
who did he play? Which one did he play Red Hood in?
Under the Red Hood.
Oh,
Under
okay.
the animated version.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. He grew up and he gets to wear the big boy pants now, which is awesome. I like Josh Duhamel as Harvey Dent.
Yeah, he's solid. I liked him a lot in this. And he
Oh.
also, you know, there's always this tendency to want to make, whenever he transforms into Two-Face, like to do the whole, like, because everyone has been doing that since the animated series with Richard Mall.
Right.
But like here, it felt a little bit natural as well. Like, yeah, he's not putting on too much of an affect on his voice. Like he can just bring his voice into that register.
Yeah.
Really well.
Yep. No, it was good. Who else? There's a couple of names. Or Katie Sackhoff does Poison Ivy in this.
Yeah, she's Poison Ivy. Yeah, Starbuck.
So I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, all right, the nerd creds.
Nia Rivera, this was her last movie before she unfortunately passed away. Because I know she was on Glee and things like that, but she was Catwoman. And so, yeah, this was
a really good job.
Yeah, really solid job there. I feel like she gets, again, equal amount footing being Catwoman and Selena in this. So,
the dude who played Alfred, his name's Alistair Duncan. And I'm like, everyone who plays Alfred for like in anything should have to change their name to Alistair Duncan.
Yeah,
like that is just such a British, like, it's the perfect name.
Oh, he's been in a bunch of stuff. He was I mean, he did a bunch of Batman stuff as Alfred before. I think he was the voice of Alfred in The Batman, that show that you and I haven't watched. I can't remember. Maybe, I can't remember, but we'll see. Yeah, he was Alfred Pennyworth in The Batman. But yeah, no, I mean, so he's an old hand at it, that's for sure. But you wouldn't have gathered that unless you were really, really familiar.
Yeah.
Polka Dot Man, David, I keep messing up his name, David Datsmalchian. He played Calendar Man in this. And
okay. Oh, that's where I know that. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Calendar Man does not get a lot of like time anywhere else than the Long Halloween. I think all the scenes with him are really fun. Yeah, he does a great job in this one. I loved him in Suicide Squad, and I liked him in this one.
Yeah, it's a really solid cast all around, and of course you have some voiceover regulars like John DiMaggio and of course Troy Baker is doing his Joker in here, which is pretty close to Hamill, so it works.
Yeah, no, it's a solid Joker. Fred Tassior does Solomon Grundy. Big Hulk thing. Yeah, like, you know, they got to get the guy. But yeah, mostly I was surprised at Katie Sackhoff. I was like, all right, like that's I didn't catch it just from my ear. You know, when she was in it, but I was like, holy crap, that's Katie Sackhoff. That's awesome.
I will say the most intimidating voice for me in this was Carmine Falcone, Titus Welliver.
Yeah,
he's from Bosch and. You know, a lot of other shows, Mr. Echo, I believe, on Lost, and was that him? Yeah.
Oh, no, I never watched Lost. So.
I think it was, but yeah, okay. But no, it's fun because I like Titus Welliver. The dude, I've seen the dude in some interviews and stuff, and he does like great impressions of like other actors, like Al Pacino and things like that. But like his voice, it's a very commanding presence that Carmine Falcone has in this, which makes sense because this is all about the Falcone crime family,
right? Oh yeah, and they definitely got something to hold down the fort on that. Like, yeah, I did not have a problem with any of the casting at all. Yeah, in this story you get a lot of the bad villains. Like I said, like they even go as far as Calendar Man. You see, it's Scarecrow, Mad Hatter are in this one. Poison Ivy, Catwoman. So there's a a Joker, a
Of
huge
course.
list of bad villains in this one. So like, this is a really really fun story, and I feel like they did it a lot of justice. Week.
W- Um, what do you think about this particular animation style? Because this is the type of modeling they're using for this particular line of movies in this universe. Like Superman, I think it's called Man of Tomorrow, has the exact same kind of design ideas. Justice Society very much has the same kind of models for its characters. Like, what did you think of the visual style?
Oh, I dig it. I'm enjoying it. I was not. Yeah, I wasn't offended at anything. They go for like I'd say a mid-eared Batman on this one,
Hmm.
and they're not crazy long and they're not super short. But yeah, no, I'm digging it. I can appreciate this. I definitely got to go check out the other two movies to see
Hmm.
if it works for everything. But yeah, like Batman looks more of a cloth instead of armor,
Hmm.
and I dig it. I dig it for sure.
I was definitely curious, if this was going to be part of that new shared universe idea or if it was going to be its own thing because the original book, Tim Sale's artwork has a very distinct style and you'll either get into it like I get into it because I get what the book is about,
Hmm.
um you either get into it or you might be off put by the artwork of the book because Batman, his ears are definitely not mid-range ears, they are pointy, his face is very
Yes.
angular. It's a lot of like I want to call it more like New Yorker style cartoonish sort of
Hmm.
approach to the artwork, but it works for what the book needs to be. And so I was wondering like, are they going to emulate that style a little bit, or is it going to be, something that's a little bit more uniform in its style? And I think it works for, that more uniform style.
Yeah, and I feel like they take cues. Like they didn't
Hmm.
like completely disregard it, but yeah, like they did soften it a bit
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
for the for the animation. But again, like I didn't the liberties that it took. I was not offended by it. It
No.
was yeah, it's pretty good. And yeah, like I'm excited to watch. I mean, I don't know if I get excited to watch a Superman movie, but I'm definitely excited to watch Justice Society.
Hmm.
Uh, okay,
Um, I did like the visual palette of it too. Like, it's a drab murder mystery things, and it kind of keeps that tone throughout the whole. There's no unnecessary bright colors too much, except in maybe some of the villains.
yeah. I
I
mean,
like
like even
it's
the Joker, they don't go too crazy with.
no, he's downplayed a bit, quite a bit. Maybe not in terms of his personality or anything like that, but definitely a little bit in the visual design because
Right.
the original comic version, like his face is like huge, like again, exaggerated jaw and everything like that.
Right.
But it works for here. It has a very seven-ish, Fincher-esque kind of color palette to it. Everything's washed out pretty well.
Mm.
I kind of like that. It works for the holiday killer.
Yes. Yeah. And again, like if you read the book, then you'll understand more kind of why they did that. Like just like yeah, the more subdued drab colors and stuff like that. Like it's again, like they're pulling from this artwork into this, into this animation style. So like that was really really cool. I dug. Oh, what was I just about to talk about? Snap. I had a thought and I lost it.
Oh, it's okay.
uh, oh no, what was I going to say?
I was, well, I mean,
Go
like you were
ahead. Sorry.
saying, some of the visual cues they took, like for example, Gilda Dent, like she looks like she's straight out of the book.
Hmm.
And so yeah, like the very kind of wayfish almost like unassuming person, and it plays really well into this version of the story as well as what it was in the book.
I got it. I got my train.
Yeah.
Now they call this the long Halloween, and you should not take that for granted. Like it is, it feels long, but like that helps with the story. So it's not
Hmm.
like a bad thing, which I thought was very interesting. Because like at the end of it, I was like, wow, like I feel like I just sat through a whole thing,
Yeah.
but I wasn't mad about it. And I was like, that's like it's very aptly named and very well done. Like you feel like like if you were Batman having to go through this, you feel the weight of it, and I really dug that about this too.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, it's one of the outliers in Batman stories because Batman's designed to maybe have an adventure that spans, you know, usually like one or two issues, perhaps. Perhaps it's a multi-series,
Yeah,
multi-issue series or something like that. But usually the time frame is like at most maybe a couple of weeks. Here it's like you have a full year to explore this case, and yeah, like you're saying, you feel that length in it, and especially in the movie because it only jumps around every once in a while to other moments outside of the actual holidays.
right.
So you get a sense of the time that's going by, and especially when you get into part two and you realize like, oh crap, he's been hostage for like 3 months.
Right. Yeah, like like the poison ivy's got him. It was yeah, like that's the truth. That's where it was. Like you said it exactly how I could put it in my head. It's like where Batman's story is like okay, Batman finds out about a villain, he figures it out. He catches the guy. This is maybe 3 weeks that have gone by,
Mhm.
and yeah, this is a whole like they let you in on the whole year of just things going on, and and I like all the like all the victims like they all kind of get their own little moment,
Mhm.
and I dug all the people like just like the Mickey Chen and the like the the Maroni guys that get killed and all
Mhm.
this stuff. So I really dug all that too. So it's like you get to see some of these like B and C or even D list like like characters on here, but it's fun to see like who they are and why they get taken out.
Yeah, absolutely. This was R-rated, right? This is another
I
R-rated bat.
believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember like the exact moments. Like I'm like, okay, that's an R-rated. But I guess it's just because it is a little bit more grounded. It's a little bit more of a gruesome way to kind of do away with people in a movie. I don't think they use too much frank language, but I was just remembering like, oh yeah, I think this is like an R-rated Batman film again. This is an example of an R-rated Batman film that I feel earns that, in the right way. Like,
Yes. Yeah. It's not just like okay, like the Joker's going to kill 57 people, and after you
yeah,
kill
we're gonna show
55
all the
people, you
blood
get
and
an R
guts. Yeah.
rating.
Like it's
uh,
it's it's gruesome, but it's not like over the top. Like these are just straightforward murders that are taking place, and that in and of itself is the disturbing enough thing.
yeah. Oh yeah, and yeah, like the intrigue, all of it is just really worth it. I had a blast watching this, and I went back and read the book again after I watched the movie. And it just lends to it. It's one of those situations where one of those rare situations where it doesn't matter which one you see first. Like
Mhm.
you can read the book or watch the movie first, and you're not going to be disappointed either way. So yeah, like I was really down for this. I was very very pleasantly surprised.
Do you think they're gonna do a Dark Victory follow up? Introduce a Robin into this?
We'll see. Again, like I'm so tentative just because like after Batman Ninja and the Killing Joke, I don't wholly trust them anymore. um, so like I hope so, and I hope it's the same people that like they're in charge of this, and they can take another good story and move it and adapt it to animation. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know which way this should go. I don't know what the numbers are saying. So
Yeah,
hope,
I think this went over well. This got a pretty good reception overall. I mean, I think well, Rotten Tomatoes gives it 100% based on 19 reviews with an average rating of 7.7 out of 10. Yeah, I'd say
so
that's
yeah. I mean, yeah, let them at it. I mean, like if it's the same people, I'm down. Like let's do another one.
yeah.
But if they're gonna bring back any of them Killing Joke guys, like we don't need to do it. But let's just leave it alone. But
Well, what would out of 5 chatterangs, I guess that's our rating here, right?
yes,
What would you give it?
uh, I give it. I give it 4 out of 5 chatterings. I don't want to give it 5 chatterings just because like I don't know what 5 chatterings is yet, but I don't think this hits that. But it's really 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 good. I give it 4 out of 5 chatterings.
All right. Yeah, I'm around that like 3.5 chatterangs just because I'm like it's solid. It's does what it needs to do, and does it well and so forth. But again, you know, I'm not usually typically in a high praise of like direct to video stuff too much, but this one it's right up there with say Dark Knight Returns for me. You know, when that came out, this is up there in terms of the quality you can get out of direct to video stuff at times.
Yep, for sure. And I feel like they could. I don't know about theatrical releases, you know, like for animation, but I feel like they could have released this one, like, or you know, I don't know if they would have to change it up because I don't know if people are going to go see two parts
Yeah,
in the theaters.
Well, I mean, the thing is a lot of I know they have done like I went to the Killing Joke, you know, Fathom event, the screening for it, and that's the thing is unless, and that's what I mean by direct to video stuff is that unless it's designed for a big screen, it's going to be distracting if you do see it on a bigger screen. Like it's fine to watch on like your screen at home here, but like in a big theatrical experience, the animation for these direct to video things typically, to me anyways, it doesn't look like they hold up as well as something that was, you know, put together with a big screen release in mind.
That's
like
true.
if they decide to give this the Mask of the Phantasm style treatment where it's like we know we're gonna have a theatrical, I'm sure it would pop and it would look great, but for what it needs to be in terms of another animated Batman movie that you can have easy access to, then yeah, it's solid, it's good.
Yeah, I agree. That's it's just a really fun time. You know, it's two parts. So go check it out. I don't know if can you catch it on HBO Max or is it just
I don't know if it's on there yet. It might still be in the window where they're wanting people to purchase it and then they'll switch it over. I think the turnaround onto HBO Max is pretty quick these days. Like stuff that had like a 40 some day release or whatever, whether it was theatrical or direct to video or whatever, it usually pops up on there pretty fast. So it might be on there. I don't know.
But yeah, no, go check it out for sure. You know, anywhere you can get the digital download, it's definitely worth it.
I wonder if they're going to do a deluxe thing where they combine, where it's going to, what they did that with Dark Knight Returns. They took the two parts and just made them one thing.
Yeah, that would be a bit of, it would seem a bit long, but you know, again, like if you're at home, you can pause it and go take your break and come back to it. There's no issue. But yeah, no, like it's definitely worth watching for sure.
All right. Well, that's all I got for this.
Yeah, me too. Like, you know,
read the book, watch the movies.
Yeah, like, do it all.
Do it all. Thanks again for hanging with us here just a little bit to talk about Batman in the Chat Cave. Again, you can check out more of Max at 3geeks.ninja and on Facebook, 3 Geeks Podcast. I know you guys got a lot of convention stuff coming up. That should be exciting.
Yes, I'm very, very excited to, you know, get back out in the world. So it's going to be a lot of 3 Geeks fun. But yeah, catch us. You know, all the social medias were 3 Geeks Podcast. I'm at 3 Geeks Max on Twitter, even though I haven't tweeted anything in
forever.
Yeah, it's probably been 5-6 years or something since I tweeted. But I might start. You know,
there you go. Get in on that social media, Max, when you can.
But yeah, so is it going to be same chat time, same chat channel? Mike McD TV.
Mike McD TV. All right. Happy Halloween, by the way.
Indeed.
No, early Halloween.
Yeah, hoping yours isn't as long as Batman's.
Yeah, there. See y'all.